March has arrived, and with it comes a sense of anticipation, a time when the calendar says spring is near, but the weather often has other plans. Winter, it seems, isn't quite ready to bow out gracefully. Instead, it clings on, making its presence felt with icy winds and fresh blankets of snow. Across the Midwest and Northeast, we're witnessing a classic March tug-of-war. One day, neighborhoods are buried under a fresh snowfall, and the next, the sun peeks out, hinting at the promise of spring. It's a time of year when you might find yourself shoveling snow in the morning, only to swap your winter coat for a light jacket by afternoon, as temperatures swing dramatically. Two fast-moving storm systems are racing across the country, each bringing its own mix of weather, bursts of heavy snow, a wintry mix of sleet and freezing rain, and then, almost as quickly, a soaking rain that washes it all away. The week kicks off with a wintry punch, as snow and ice make travel tricky and remind us that winter still has some fight left in it. But almost as soon as the snow settles, a surge of much warmer air will sweep in from the south, sending temperatures soaring well above what we'd expect for early March, sometimes by as much as 20 degrees. This dramatic swing means we'll see everything from sudden snow squalls that reduce visibility, to rapid snowmelt that can cause localized flooding, and then, just as quickly, a taste of April-like warmth that has people heading outdoors. March is famous for this kind of meteorological madness, a month where you can experience all four seasons in a single week, and sometimes even in a single day. We'll break down the timing of these wild swings, what it means for your travel plans, and how the big warm-up could jumpstart the landscape, coaxing green shoots from beneath the melting snow. So buckle up and get ready for a wild ride, because this week, the weather is anything but predictable. Let's dive into the details of the first storm and see what's in store. Here's what you need to know to stay ahead of the changing conditions. Our first storm is a quick-hitting system, racing from the plains into the Ohio Valley and Mid-Atlantic. Sunday night brought a narrow band of snow and a messy mix from Nebraska through Kentucky and Ohio. Just a few miles made the difference between snow, slush, or cold rain. Southern Iowa, northern Missouri, and central Illinois picked up 1 to 3 inches, enough to make roads slick, especially overnight. As the storm shifts east Monday, cities from Indiana to Virginia face their own wintry mess, with a tricky morning commute ahead. Most areas will see a coating to an inch of snow, but higher terrain in West Virginia could get up to 3 inches. Even a fast-moving storm like this can disrupt travel and remind us winter isn't done yet. Stay alert for changing conditions. Let's look at how this storm impacts travel. Travel is the top concern with these quick winter storms. Not just how much snow falls, but when and what type. Major Midwest interstates faced snow and wintry mix Sunday night, with slick spots developing fast after sunset. Reduced visibility and slippery roads, especially on bridges and untreated surfaces, led to slowdowns and accidents. As the storm moves east, Monday's commute from Indianapolis to D.C. suburbs will be hazardous, with a mix of snow, sleet, and freezing rain. Sleet and freezing rain are especially dangerous, turning roads into ice rinks. The best advice? Slow down, leave extra space, and make sure your car is winter ready. Adjust your driving to the conditions. Caution and patience are key. Even a little snow or ice can make a big difference. Let's see what happens as the next storm arrives. Stay safe out there. The second storm system of the week arrives on Tuesday, following closely behind the first, but this time it takes a more northerly track. This shift in the storm's path means that the Great Lakes and the interior Northeast will be in the direct line of impact, setting the stage for a dramatic weather transition. The real story here is all about transition. Many residents across the region will wake up to a wintry mix, sleet or freezing rain coating roads, sidewalks, and cars in a slick, icy glaze. But as the morning progresses, a surge of much warmer air will sweep in from the south, quickly changing that icy mix to plain rain by the afternoon. This rapid shift can catch people off guard, so it's important to stay alert. Take Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, for example. Early commuters could face treacherous, icy roads and sidewalks, making travel hazardous. But by midday, the scene will transform into a raw, rainy afternoon, with temperatures rising just enough to melt the morning's ice. This kind of quick change can make it difficult to plan your day, so keep an eye on local forecasts. This rapid change from ice to rain isn't just a travel concern. It introduces new risks for rivers and streams. As the rain falls and temperatures climb, thick layers of river ice begin to break up, sometimes forming dangerous ice jams that can block water flow. When these jams form at bridges or sharp bends in the river, water can back up quickly, leading to sudden and sometimes severe flooding. The combination of melting snow and heavy rain adds even more water to the system, increasing the risk of flash floods in vulnerable areas. AccuWeather's Alex Sosnowski warns that communities along interior rivers and streams need to be on high alert for rapidly changing conditions. Even areas that don't usually flood could see problems if ice jams develop unexpectedly. The combination of runoff from melting snow, steady rain, and the threat of ice jams creates a complex and unpredictable flood threat. Water levels can rise quickly, and ice chunks can damage property or infrastructure. Emergency managers and residents in flood-prone neighborhoods should monitor river levels closely and be prepared to act if water starts to rise. Having sandbags ready and knowing evacuation routes can make a big difference in an emergency. The transition from winter to spring is often eagerly anticipated, but it can be just as hazardous as it is welcome. Slushy, muddy conditions and rapidly changing weather can create new dangers on the ground and on the roads. Stay vigilant as conditions change throughout the day. Keep an eye on weather alerts and check in with neighbors, especially those who may need extra help. As we move through this turbulent transition, let's look ahead to the big warm-up that's just around the corner. After the storms, the weather flips dramatically. A surge of spring-like warmth sweeps across the east. A powerful ridge of high pressure brings southerly winds and temperatures 10-20 degrees above average. Cities like DC and Philadelphia could see highs in the 60s, melting snowpack rapidly and giving everyone a taste of spring fever. The warmth spreads inland, accelerating snowmelt and adding to flood concerns as frozen ground can't absorb all the water. It's a double-edged sword. The thaw feels great, but it can quickly swell rivers and streams. This spring preview will last through the weekend, but remember, it's still March, and more swings are likely. Enjoy the sunshine, but stay prepared for more changes. The atmosphere is still in flux. Let's see what's driving this wild weather. What's behind these wild swings? It's all about the jet stream, a fast-moving river of air high above us. Early in the week, the jet stream dips, letting cold air spill south and fueling winter storms. By midweek, a deep trough forms in the west, while a ridge builds in the east, pumping warm air northward. This amplified pattern is classic for spring, creating dramatic back-and-forth weather. Under the ridge, the east gets warmth and sun. Under the trough, the west turns colder and stormier. These big jet stream waves are why March is so unpredictable. It's a textbook example of seasonal transition. Now let's focus on the flood risks. The rapid thaw brings a major flood risk, especially in the interior Northeast and northern Midwest. Rain and melting snow break up thick river ice, sending huge chunks downstream. When ice jams at bridges or bends, water can rise several feet in minutes, causing sudden, severe flooding. Frozen ground can't absorb runoff, so water heads straight into already stressed rivers. This triple threat, rain, snowmelt, and ice jams, demands close attention from emergency officials and residents. If you live near a river prone to ice jams, stay alert and heed any warnings. Never drive through flooded roads. Water can be deeper and more dangerous than it looks. The transition to spring is beautiful, but it's also hazardous. Let's look ahead to what this pattern means for the coming weeks. This week's weather roller coaster is just a preview of what's ahead for March and the early days of spring. If you felt like you're experiencing all 4 seasons in a single week, you're not alone. This is a classic sign of the transition period we're entering. The ongoing battle between lingering winter cold and the first surges of spring warmth will continue, setting the stage for more frequent storms and dramatic temperature swings. Expect to see days that start with frosty mornings and end with mild, sunny afternoons, only to be followed by another round of chilly air. The late week warmth we're seeing now is a tempting taste of spring, but don't be fooled. Cold snaps are still likely, and winter isn't quite ready to let go. You might find yourself switching between sunglasses and snow boots within the same week. The active jet stream overhead means more weather systems will track from the plains to the northeast. The exact path of each system will determine whether you get rain, a wintry mix, or even a late-season snowstorm. These shifting patterns can make forecasting especially tricky. March is notorious for surprise snowstorms, so it's wise to keep those shovels and winter gear handy, even as you start to think about spring cleaning. You can expect some days to climb into the 60s, tempting you to break out lighter clothes, only to have a cold front sweep in and drop temperatures back to the 30s or 40s. This back and forth is typical for this time of year. The best strategy? Layer up and stay flexible. This is the classic spring transition, where adaptability is key to staying comfortable and prepared. Meteorologists will be watching the storm track closely, since even small shifts in the jet stream can mean big changes in your local forecast. Staying updated will help you plan for whatever comes your way. Be ready for anything. Spring in the Midwest and Northeast is always full of surprises, from sudden downpours to unexpected snow squalls and bursts of sunshine. As we move through this unpredictable season, keep an eye on the forecast, stay prepared for quick changes, and embrace the variety that spring brings. Let's wrap up with some final advice. March is a season of change. One day a winter blast, the next a burst of spring. Stay informed and flexible. Check your local forecast daily, as conditions can shift quickly. For travelers, watch for slick roads after wintry nights, and for those near rivers, be extra vigilant for flooding. The equinox, marking spring's official start, is a perfect metaphor. The atmosphere is seeking balance. The stormy, swinging weather is just part of that adjustment. Enjoy the warmth, be cautious during wintry spells, and look forward to spring's full arrival. We'll keep tracking it all for you. That's the latest. Here's what you can expect in your area.